In this, as well as in the upcoming parts, I want to show you how easy it is to crochet a small jumpsuit for babies. By following these instructions, I get an overall size which is ideal for babies in the age of 0 to 2 months. For this project, we need respectively 3 rolls of your desired color combination. In my case, I use Charisma yarn from Drops in Powder Pink and Natural Colors. Also a 4.5mm hook, a sewing needle and scissors. Additionally, we need a few crochet markers, measuring tape and any number of buttons to close the jumpsuit. Our overall is almost finished. We are only missing the button placket with the corresponding buttonholes and the neck edge up here. For simplicity's sake, we'll start with the placket. I will place it here on the right side. For that, we first insert the thread in the color of the button placket up here in the corner again. Now we work in single crochet. While doing so, remember to work a single crochet into the end of every single crochet row and 2 single crochet at the end of every double crochet row. We begin with a chain. 1 single crochet into the single crochet row. 2 single crochet at the end of the double crochet row. One more time from the start, 1 single crochet into the end of the single crochet row, 2 single crochet into the double crochet row. We repeat all of this until we get to down here at this edge. If I counted correctly, we should now be at 42. We have now reached the edge down here and turn everything around once. We begin anew with a chain and afterwards do a single crochet into every stitch on our way back. Once we got up to here, we turn everything over and crochet another row back and forth, one to the crotch area and another one back to the neck. We begin both rows with a chain. "41" and 42. Up here we do another chain and cut off the thread. The first side is now finished. We now begin with the second, the side with the buttonholes. First, we insert the thread again up here in the corner. Here we also begin with a chain and work one more single crochet into the end of each single crochet row and 2 single crochet in double crochet rows. We keep crocheting until we get down to the end. We have now reached the end down here. Before we crochet our way back, we have to think about where we want to place the buttons on the other side and especially how many. As a result, we know where to put the buttonholes in our row back. I have 5 buttons and will try to place them as evenly as possible. I start with the top button and then with the bottom one. In between I count all of the rows so I know how to spread the remaining buttons. 12 rows, that means I have to place a button for every third row. Now I take my crochet marker and tag the exact placements on my button placket to know where I have to crochet the holes. As you can see, it's important to place the colors next to each other first. If you want to be more accurate, you can measure the distance between each of the buttons so you won't have to adjust it all manually like I do. By the way, my buttons are pretty big. That means I will have to make the buttonholes bigger as well. If you have smaller buttons, you should make smaller holes too so they don't slip out. We start with a chain and do single crochet until we reach the stitch right before the crochet marker. In my case, that's 2 single crochet. For my buttons, I will chain 2 and skip another 2 stitches after that to work the next single crochet into the third stitch. For smaller buttons, you should only chain 1 and skip 1 stitch. For bigger buttons, chain more and skip more stitches accordingly. Now we keep doing single crochet until we get to the next crochet marker. Here we chain another 2 and skip another 2 stitches afterwards. The second buttonhole is now finished. We repeat this pattern until we have reached the neck up here. We have now reached this part up here. For the buttonholes, we need to remember that we still have to add the neck edge at the top. That's why we want to make the last single crochet the one up here that we do after skipping the 2 stitches. Here another 2 chains. Next we skip 2 stitches and finish with a single crochet into the last stitch up here. We turn everything around and start with a chain. We do more single crochet into every stitch while working 2 single crochet into each of the chain arcs. We do this for the entire row and start the row 4th with another chain to start working our way back to the next with single crochet. Once we reach the top, we can secure the thread, cut it off and insert it again at the neck. We begin with another chain and work single crochet into every stitch all the way around. We do this until we reach the other side here. Afterwards, we start with another chain and crochet everything back here to the start. After we stitched back and forth, we do a chain after the final stitch and cut off the thread. We hide the remaining thread under the other stitches with a needle. And cut. Finally, we are only missing the buttons. But first I remove all of the crochet marker. Then we turn the jumper onto the right side. We can also cut off the protruding threads too. We cut off some yarn for the buttons. Now I will show you my way to do the buttons. I don't know whether or not it's the correct way to do it, but for me at least they don't fall off. I place both sides one on the other and then pierce the buttonholes with a sewing needle. Then I unfold the placket and already have the first spot for my button. Now I pierce from the inside to the outside and pull the thread through the button. If your buttons have 2 holes, it's easy. I pierce with the thread through the second hole and then back to the inside. Now I knot these two ends together. I hide the thread ends underneath the stitches. If you choose to use longer thread ends, you can place them easier on the needle and don't have to struggle as much. We cut off the rest. That's the way I'll do it for every button now. And finished is our jumpsuit. I hope you made it this far and that you could understand everything clearly. As always, if you like this instruction, make sure to leave a thumbs up.